Welcome to a very snowy Lake Placid, New York for the second stop on the BMW IBSF World Cup 4-man bobsled tour. The weather has changed overnight from 50-degree temperatures yesterday for this first heat of 4-man bobsledding. John Morgan here with Alana Myers-Taylor, a couple of silver medals for Alana in the last two Olympics driving. And Alana, you've driven down this track, but listen, the ice conditions today, is this going to change anything, the strategy for driving a 4-man sled?
Definitely. Yesterday was a super warm day, and today coming down to a cold, snowy day. You want drastically different equipment for those two conditions, and it's really going to come down to if the drivers were able to adjust from yesterday and make the right selections today.
There's our old start record, been around since 2005. We didn't get close to it yesterday. I don't imagine we'll do it again today, but boy, the track's covered. But is there any section of the track where you have to worry about snow or wind?
The track crew here at Lake Placid has done a great job protecting the track as much as possible, but through the bottom sections, the chicanes, you really have to make sure you're avoiding that snow as much as possible.
And you've driven a 4-man sled, driven a 2-man sled. Would you come out of with a different mindset from yesterday when it was warm?
When it's colder ice, you have to be on your toes in a 4-man sled. It definitely is one of those kind of tracks that can bite you at any time. At the same time, when it's fast in a 4-man, it's the most fun racing you've ever felt. Coming through these bottom sections, you're flying, and it feels amazing.
2003, the record, Andre Lange, he's here. He's in a red jacket. He's coaching the Chinese. We'll see a couple of their sleds like we did yesterday. Great racing yesterday. The Canadian Justin Cripps won the race. Here's our World Cup standings. Cripps won the race. Kiebermanis, those guys were first and second in last year's race. Benny Meyer from Austria snuck in ahead of Francisco Friedrich. Good result from him. The USA's Cody Basque, sixth. Pretty much the same cast of characters we've seen the last couple of years, and it looks like Cripps is settling in. This might be one of his favorite tracks.
He's driving this track extremely well, and he's going to be tough to beat, especially in the change of ice conditions today.
Now, the Germans told me that they were going to change runners. Well, that was before the weather changed overnight like it is. You can see yesterday how easy it was to warm up yesterday compared to today, right?
Definitely. These athletes really have to make sure to manage their energy, manage these conditions to make sure they're getting warm so they can push the sled as fast as possible.
What was your attitude when the weather changed or the weather got ugly like this?
My attitude was every single athlete's going through the same thing, so you might as well enjoy it.
Well, you can see yesterday they were running around up there in their sweats and shorts. And here's our start list. Chinese will go off first. Sometimes that's an advantage. I don't know. Today he might be a snowplow in a certain section of the track. And, 20 sleds in the field. Cody Basque in 10th. And all the way down, Jeff Gadbois from the United States. He was disqualified yesterday for some kind of an illegal rubber stop in the front axle.
The U.S. definitely had some equipment issues yesterday with Jeff Gadbois, and then again with Hunter Church, failed push bar. So they're definitely looking to have a better day today.
Well, the season so far in 4-man bobsled, we got a little hold on the track, we're being told. Austrian Benny Meyer yesterday, good starts. But what I'm most impressed of this athlete, besides the fact that his wife Elizabeth's ready to give birth any day with their first child, he's a student of the game. He's really become good with the equipment. And, for him to medal like this is pretty impressive.
Very impressive. And he actually started in the Youth Olympics, one of those young athletes into the sport.
And this young decathlete here, the firefighter from Sigulda, Oskar Kiebermanis, well, he was second last year in this event. He was second in the World Championships. And the Latvians, this little small nation, just doesn't stop putting out great medal results on the sliding sports. And, Justin Cripps, this is the same exact team. These four guys, different uniforms, though. I checked out the replay from last year. Cripps just had the best time in both runs. And, he's a 2-man guy, but he's starting to build a little bit of a 4-man resume, and we'll see if he can back it up today.
Canada is really in a rebuilding phase, and it's been great to see Justin continue to lead the change. Noticeably missing this year, Chris Spring, one of the greatest characters on tour. He's recovering from injury, and we look forward to having him back soon.
Track hold, but looks like Pierre Lueders is ready to turn that sled over. There's the decent crowd on hand. A very educated crowd out here in Mount Van Hovenberg. They built the track, not here, but, 100 yards away. To the left of this picture is the track that they built for the 32 Olympic Games. This is the modern. Now look down to the left. You see that little alleyway here on the left side of your screen? That's the old track from the 32 and the 1980 Games. And it's amazing that the tradition out here. Christmas Day 1930 was the first day they sled out here, Alana.
It's a perfect day to start your sliding career.
So now that hold has been lifted, Team Jin from China, they'll be the first guys off. They're just getting their time in. 16th place yesterday. First telltale sign will be the start. Yesterday they had a 5:15 and a 5:14 start. Let's see what the start track's got. Ooh, looks like the guy on the left ran too far. 5:15 again, so the start track's the same.
Start's consistent. It'll really be interesting to see how the track holds up. It should be a little bit faster today. These are some solid lines coming around the top, but hopefully there's not too much snow in the track to slow these drivers down. He's really going to want to have a nice Devil's Highway here, but he's really looking to set the pace of the entire field.
What was your attitude when you were the first person down the track?
Just let it rip. You're just going out there and trying to have the fastest run as possible and really narrow down your lines. He's having a pretty good run here, nice and smooth.
Good lines there. Ooh, we just got caught, but that's pretty good. 133 kilometers an hour, and that's about 82.8 miles an hour.
Little bump on the exit of 19 that's going to slow his time down a little bit, but once again, he's the pacemaker for this race, and we'll see what the other sleds have coming down.
55.38 yesterday in the first run. He did a 55.20. That means track's pretty equal. Similar start. 1600ths away from his time. That could have been a driving little snow still coming in. The only place that really affects you, I think, is down on the chicane, right? The snow accumulation.
The other thing is it can affect you at the start. So when it's snowy conditions, when there's wind blowing at the start, you want to get off the line as fast as possible.
Well, here it's totally covered until you get into the curve, exit curve 1. Down here in the Devil's Highway, how's this look?
Not too bad, a little bit across, but he made it work out.
Next up, our friends, Rudy Rinaldi, Boris Vaughan from Monaco, Thibaut Damarton, Stefan Bourget.
Once again, some of the most unique start spikes in the field. He's got tennis shoes with a bobsled spike attached.
Well, he's got European coaches in their bobsled, in their skeleton, in their luge teams for the Chinese. And in fact, the coaches that were coaching the Koreans are not over in the Chinese camp.
You can have the best athletes in the world, but without really great coaches to guide them, you're not going to get much result.
Especially with the technical aspect, knowing the runners, warm weather, cold weather runners, which runners work on the certain tracks.
Here we see exit of 12. We're going to see that again. Goes into curve really late and just struggles to get off the exit.
That was close. That was the worst lines we've seen in 2 days in that curve, treacherous curve 12. Mr. Silky knows it. Now our final sled of the day, Jeff Gabois from Vermont, Chris Avery, Michael Fote, Dakota Lynch. Fote's brother Chris is here. Chris was on the Steve Holcomb silver medal four-man sled in Sochi. Gabois' team. Gabois was disqualified for a sled infraction yesterday, so he will get no points, which is disappointing.
He's really going to try and make up some points here to help him qualify for the World Championships later this year. Has a little bit of trouble out of curve 1, smooths it out in curve 2, but we'll see how much time that's going to cost him. A lot of steering in curve 3, coming down through the Devil's Highway. Already back quite a bit of time, so he's really going to have a smooth bottom half of the track to make this up.
Talk about Steve Holcomb's silver medal. This is the sled. This is the Night Train 2 that Steve Holcomb won that silver medal in.
Jeff's having a really rough time down the track, having some skids, costing him some good amount of time.
12th best speed. He's got a chance. He's in 19th spot now. Let's see what he can do here in the bottom. Knows the track well. Through, down, 19th. Pretty much like yesterday. 55, 65. That's pretty much what he did yesterday.
Definitely not the run he wanted to have. Had quite a few skids, quite a few driving errors. Going to really look to turn that around for run number 2. You got to wonder, though, how much on his mind. Just trying to get those points and recover from yesterday. A lot of driving through this
the back
curve.
end of that sled. Look, it was airborne. The back right runner came off. It was airborne coming into that wall. And here,
same here. A lot of driving, struggles to get off, and actually skids into curve 13.
well, we'll see him in the second run. We saw him in the second run yesterday, then a material check by chance. They only do the top 3 sleds, and then one random sled, he got caught. And Justin Cripps, well, this is not yesterday, this is today. He won both runs yesterday. He won both runs last year when he won the gold medal, and here he is, post the best time. He's got a 10/100 leave on Francisco Friedrich, and I think he's got that, hey guys, catch me if you can attitude. Starting to like this track, and he's starting to like 4-man bobsledding.
The most incredible thing he's able to do is he starts off with a start deficiency, but he gains time down through the bottom portions of the track.
That's great driving, great equipment, great confidence. Friedrich close by. Lochner, Hunter Church in 4th. Keeper Mattis, yesterday's silver medalist, 100th back from Hunter Church. There's the rest of the field. That's Christophe Hoffer. Dvorak in 11th, a little bit better for him. Benny Meyer way back in 17th. That was our bronze medalist from yesterday. Well, the snows continue to fall. It's a little windy, weather outside, frightful. One more heat before the athletes get a break. A couple weeks, Christmas time, we saw some action on this Lake Placid track. We're not near the track record, so come join us in about 45 and a half hours for the second and final run of bobsledding from Lake Placid. See you in about 40 minutes.